Government officials and scholars gathered on Friday to celebrate the anniversary of a think tank that's been key to the development of Taiwan's new southbound policy and to discuss policy adjustments as the region faces growing threats. Cadence Quaranta reports.
Amid a rapidly changing Indo-Pacific security landscape, Taiwan's Vice President Bi Kim-hsiao emphasizes the importance of Taiwan's new southbound policy, a strategy focused on deepening ties with neighbors in South and Southeast Asia.
当前全球局势高度不确定之下，西南向国家对台湾的意义，不只是在传统的经贸关系，更成为我们拓展国际空间、深化价值，成为同时强化战略韧性的重要支点。
The policy, launched in 2016, aims to foster closer relationships with countries in South and Southeast Asia and reduce Taiwan's reliance on China amid heightened cross-strait tensions and China's increasing efforts to isolate Taiwan from the international community. The policy has seen some success, helping to deepen Taiwan's trade, educational, and cultural ties with countries across the region. But at a forum to celebrate the 7-year anniversary of the Taiwan-Asia Exchange Foundation, a think tank key to the new southbound policy's development, government officials also emphasized the need for that policy to continue to adapt. In particular, to focus more on deepening cooperation on security issues.
最关键的因素就是我刚刚所讲的，印太区域所有国家，包括台湾、包括印度、包括我们南边的菲律宾，甚至南海周遭的几个重要的国家，甚至日本。 我们共同面对的威胁非常清楚，就是中国。很清楚的认定，只有在国际合作，只有在强化安全韧性的合作，才有办法维护印太区域的和平稳定。
Lin also emphasized the need for an overarching Indo-Pacific strategy to guide Taiwan's efforts in the region. He said he's worried not just about China, but also about growing collaboration between China, Russia, and Iran, and their desire to project influence in the region, making cooperation between Taiwan and its neighbors all the more important.
So as Taiwan looks back on the achievements of the new southbound policy, government officials and experts are also urging the country to look forward at how it can improve its strategies in the Indo-Pacific as the region experiences rapid changes and growing threats to stability. Klein Wong and Cadence Quaranta for TaiwanPlus.
A war game simulating a Chinese blockade of Taiwan has revealed that Singapore may play a key role during a cross-strait conflict. The city-state may be vital to evacuating and airlifting Southeast Asian nationals out of Taiwan. Over 90% of foreign nationals living in Taiwan are from Southeast Asian countries. Singaporean troops regularly train in Taiwan, and the two sides enjoy long-standing military ties. London-based think tank International Institute for Strategic Studies conducted the war games. U.S. President Donald Trump's sweeping global tariffs had come into effect. With a 20% tariff levy on most Taiwanese goods entering the U.S., businesses here from autos to agriculture are finding themselves in a bind. Leslie Liao has more.
The world is officially in a new age of trade. U.S. President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs on dozens of countries took effect on Wednesday. Taiwan was hit with a 20% tariff on most of its goods. That import tax will have consequences on local businesses. The cabinet says it expects at least 42,000 people to either face pay cuts or lose their jobs because of the tariffs. While Taiwan's tariff rate is less than the 32% first announced back in April, it still got higher than other countries in the region, like South Korea and Japan, which got 15%. Auto car parts makers are worried because the tariffs might lead clients to seek out alternatives.
他会尝试找人来替代，那个就很严重了。他的一个认证就要好几年，他不可能去买别的东西啊，所以当他找到别的的时候，你未来20年都不要玩了。
Taiwan's farmers are also bracing for a hit to business. Orchids, one of Taiwan's major agricultural exports, will be tariffed. This farmer says that the new import duties will eat into his already thin profit margins.
利润啊，咱拢掠5%至10%俩，你扣一个20%，所有的利润就拢全部给我降去啊。所以说我们现在当然说我们针对这个关税的部分，我们跟美国客户之间要去做协调。
In response to the tariffs' official start, Taiwan's cabinet has set aside roughly $3 billion in tariff relief and subsidies for affected businesses. But if these tariffs are here to stay, a long-term strategy is needed.
短期内我们希望能够协助大家应急，但是长期来讲，我们希望大家变得健康，那我们也有专门这个方面。
Taiwan's government says to help businesses achieve economic longevity, it will encourage AI integration and work to increase domestic demand. There are already plans in the works to help turn these tariff fortunes around. Hank Xu and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
Another industry already feeling the effects of the U.S. tariffs is textiles, where Taiwan is also a major player. And to find out more about how the sector is coping, our reporter Ai Chi spoke to Sam Hong, founder and chair of local functional fabrics producer HFI.
Can you tell us how you have been impacted by the tariffs as an upstream supplier shipping fabrics to your customers such as North Face, Lululemon, and Under Armour's factories in Southeast Asia?
The impact is very obvious that you take a look at the number, the forecast that we have for this year. I believe that we at least have 15% dropped for the 2025. You're going to see what happens if react from the market. So consumers, what happens if consumers are not buying? And that will be a huge impact. Eventually going to come back to upstream suppliers like, my company.
So I know you have been diversifying your products and market as a way to mitigate risks. Can you tell us a bit more about that and what other steps you plan to take in response to the tariffs?
Always going to look for, seeking for new source, new raw materials, new ingredient to add it to our R&D to create a new product. That is, we've been really proactive in what we're doing. And finding the new markets or it also is going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. It could be like 3 years, could be 5 years. You need to have that patience of doing what you're doing. We're competing for quality or better quality. You're going to look at yourself as a fabric supplier here in Taiwan. You need to understand not only your own market here in Taiwan, but you got to understand your competitors, where they're located.
What are you hearing from other textile companies in Taiwan regarding the impact of the tariffs and their plans in response?
它已经走掉了，然后其实有很多也收掉了，在台湾假如没有办法生存的话，它会慢慢不是倒闭的，倒闭我觉得还比较少一点，就慢慢结束他们的生意。在短时间里面，其实大家都去接受这个事实，因为这不是我们可以决定的。那我们只是说这个 impact， 那它可以到底会有多久？那你看你有没有办法撑得住？因为 economy 是一个很现实 ，business 是一个非常现实，经济一定会不好。从我们来讲，因为从我的公司来讲，主要以美国的那个生产市场为主，那它经济一定在短期间，我不会看到有好的一面的。那 inflation 一定会上来，那消费者一定会不会买那么多东西啊。Currency is the big issue, and adding fuel to the fire, devastating. It's going to kill the business. Not only my business, but a lot of business, a lot of different industries in Taiwan.
That was Sam Hong of Taiwanese textile firm HFI. Taiwan has launched an investigation into over a dozen illegal Chinese tech operations suspected of poaching talent from its semiconductor industry. Easy Wells has more.
16 Chinese companies, 70 locations searched, and 120 people questioned over the last 3 weeks. It's part of coordinated raids on suspected illegal Chinese tech operations accused of poaching chip talent here in Taiwan.
非法太阳包含私设营运据点及以侨外资外观包装入资企业，企图规避我国法治。
Covert methods like using shell companies aren't uncommon. Taiwan's laws prohibit Chinese investment in some parts of the chip supply chain and require reviews of others, making it difficult for Chinese firms to operate here legally. Investigators say they've uncovered more than 100 similar cases since 2020. This time, the tech firms under scrutiny include Nvidia supplier Victory Giant Technology and Apple supplier Goatech. Experts say it all comes down to one thing: the race for tech supremacy.
So there would be talent, technology, and so many industrial know-hows contained within this ecosystem. The most important thing is they want to get more secret how Taiwan can be successful and how Taiwan can keep doing innovations in this ecosystem. And they want to get as much as they can.
And in recent years, as Taiwan's chip industry continues to grow in international importance, the value and risks surrounding those tech secrets have never been higher. Investigators say they will continue to crack down on these kinds of illegal operations to safeguard Taiwan's chip industry. But as the US-China rivalry rages on, tech talent here remains a coveted prize and a likely target. Chris Ma and Izzy Wells for TaiwanPlus.
Singapore will soon be marking 60 years of independence, a major milestone for the city-state. As the country reflects on its rapid rise and looks ahead to its future, our reporter Isabel Wong went there to take a closer look at its ties with Taiwan.
Flags and festive signs line the streets of Singapore, just days before its 60th anniversary. The city-state, once a strong ally of the Republic of China, Taiwan's official name. From 1973 to 1990, Singapore's founding father Lee Kuan Yew maintained close ties with several Taiwanese politicians, including former President Jiang Jingguo, and even visited Taiwan more than 25 times. He also opened the door to cross-strait negotiations between Taiwan and the People's Republic of China, or PRC, when Singapore hosted the Guam talks in 1993.
Lee Kuan Yew used to visit Taiwan quite a bit in his private capacity, and he would meet with Jiang Jingguo. You can actually also see some of the correspondence that the two individuals, as well as some of their family members, had with each other at the Academia Historica in Taiwan.
But since Singapore switched diplomatic recognition to China in 1990, its relations with Taiwan have mainly developed through business ties. And Singapore's dynamic startup environment is attracting interest from Taiwan, especially in areas like chips and AI.
Yeah, especially I think in Taiwan, of course we are the best in semiconductor, and we have a lot of hardware talent. Yeah, and in Singapore, they are more focused on software development, and also they are also emphasized for the AI. So a lot of Taiwanese friends, they tell me they want to come to Singapore because this is a hub to go to international stage. If you want to approach the international company, Singapore is definitely a good place.
And these business exchanges are a two-way street, with Singapore startups also looking towards Taiwan.
We will bring a few of our startups to go to Taiwan, Kaohsiung, or Taipei, and to open some doors opportunity for Singapore startup. Likewise, we are also bringing Taiwanese startup into Singapore because they feel that they want to focus on expansion into Southeast Asia or even Asia Pacific.
Taiwan's new southbound policy aims to boost ties with economies and cultures in Southeast Asia. And Singapore is playing a key role. As a major financial and logistics hub, it's become central to that policy, with Taiwan's government investing more on education exchanges and collaborations on semiconductor supply chains. As Singapore turns 60, its long-standing connections with Taiwan reflect how a partnership can be resilient in a region that is evolving. Howard Zhang, Andy Xue, Isabel Wang in Singapore for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, check out the Philadelphia Chinese Lantern Festival, where thousands of handcrafted lanterns light up the summer night. I'm Yvonne Yang. Take care, and I'll see you next time.